Welcome to Positive Atheism English channel. Today I am going to present you the book on Thoughts of Periyar compiled by Dr. K. Veeramani. Second part of Periyar on Brahmanism in India. The Muslims in India move with non-Muslims also in a friendly way. Though they do not like Amir and blame him and his wife for certain actions of theirs, when Amir's position is in danger, all Muslims sympathize with him and come forward to support him. The reason for this is their attachment to their religion. Such unity is not found among the Hindus, and there is opposition any kind of suggested notifications or changes in religious or social practices. If we look into the history for this, we will find that this religion has many divisions and subdivisions called castes and communities, some being considered high and some low, and a few people getting permanent benefit from this situation. If we examine how the religious subdivisions and communal divisions have become permanent and how people are blindly tenacious about this, we will find that these are traceable to the fact that Hinduism has more compulsive conditions than other religions. The conditions are: according to the Hindu religion principles, the common people should not have any education. But the Brahmins, who are in a superiority, alone have the right to be educated. The Hindus should not learn anything about the basic principles of religion. The common people have absolutely no right to think independently or explore what is good, what is bad, what is necessary and what is unnecessary. Besides these compulsive conditions regards education and religion, people have been divided into a number of high and low castes and communities and have been prevented from contact with one another. Further, each community is allotted a specific occupation which every member of that community should necessarily stick to. The people were told that they would be punished if they neglected the community-based occupation, and the king also framed laws to compel the people to follow the conditions laid down by the religious authorities. In this situation, one community alone ensured for all its members adequate permanently income by creating thousands of deities and thousands of rituals. People were made to believe that the deities in the temple should have daily puja, periodical festivals and other rituals for which whatever the priestly class wanted should be supplied. The common people were also made to believe that the priest should be implicitly obeyed, and raising any question about the restrictions imposed on them was sinful, and that such people were atheists who deserved to be punished by the king. Those who openly defied the restrictions placed on the non-priestly class were called giants, monsters or ruges, who were the enemies of gods and other celestial beings and who would harm the world greatly. By such mischievous propaganda against them, they were destroyed. Even today, the same religious principles continue. At present, though public awareness about the unreasonableness and tyranny of the old practices is growing, the selfishness of some people does not permit them to change their policy of exploitation. For example, though intellectuals, great men, leaders and public institutions have declared that religious movements and principles should be abandoned, and if they are not abandoned, the country will lose its self-respect and religion will have no value, some groups of people meet in conferences in the name of dharma and religion and pass resolutions to suit their convenience and advantage. For example, recently Brahmins met in conferences in different places to emphasize the division of society in the communal groups, of which the Brahmins from the top group and the other are Sudras, the children of concubines whose duty is to serve Brahmins. In order to eternalize untouchability, the Saivites in their conference have resolved that the untouchables must have separate temples for the worship. Therefore, as long as Varnashrama dharma and this kind of Saivites continue in this country, how can Brahmanism be abolished? How can people live with unity and self-respect? If we think deeply about all this, we will realize how far Brahmanism is running this country. Finally, we will have to say that in India there is no religion without Brahmanism, and unless we do away with all religions and all communities, we cannot live with mutual kindness and any kind of faith. Thank you.
Please download Samaram multi-channel app and watch your favorite channels from your mobile. App available on Google Play Store and subscribe to the channels. For more videos, please subscribe to this channel Positive Atheism and activate the bell icon.